Hi dancers! Today I'm going to compare some type of point shoes. I'm gonna tell you some characteristic and then how I felt wearing them. So let's start. I started using Freed when I was 11. They are really actually soft and you can work your feet really well. The problem with Freed is that they do not last really long. So you have to be really rich to use Freed. No, I think you have to buy them every 2 weeks almost. So they're really good type of point shoes, but they're not so expensive. They don't last long. Then I use for some time block, Serenade block. They're kind of like Freed. They last a little bit longer, but yeah, they're kind of like Freed. Then I used, when I was in the company, I used Gaynor Minden, but I used them at the same time of Freed because I needed to work my feet with Freed and then I needed some strengthen and I need a point shoes that would last a bit longer, especially if I had 3-4 shows in a week and I had to do, for example, pas de deux, so I need stronger point shoes that would last a little bit longer. The Gaynor Minden cost, of course, more than the Freed, but they last really long, like 1 year, 1.5 years. Then, when I was in Basel, I had to use Freed because the director of the academy wanted us to wear Freed. But then, in the company, as I said, I used both Freed and Gaynor. At the moment, I'm trying the Air Class point shoes. I found them really nice. I think they are in between Freed and Gaynor. But now I'll explain you some characteristic of those 4 kind of point shoes and I will mention some others that are kind of famous but I never really tried them on. I know a lot of dancers are using Grishko. For me they are impossible to use because they are really thin at the end and my feet does like this. It's impossible for me to wear them. And then I heard as well about Capezio and Sancha, and I know that for those kind of point shoes, the part that is kind of like covering the metatarsal area has 2 measures. You can find the M and the V. The M is the medium size and the V is the wide size. Same Capezio and Sancha. Grishko, for example, it is measured on X. So you have 2X, 3, 4, 5. The more X you have, thinner is this part. So as well, the thinner is the end of the shoe. Start explaining Freed. Freed has 2 major type of point shoes, model of point shoes, the Classic Pro and the Studio Pro as well, but the major is Classic Pro and the Studio. For me the Studio, it's a bit like the shape of the Grishko, so I cannot really stay on point, so I prefer the Classic Pro. But let's see here what does all these things mean. The number is of course the number of the length of your feet. So for example, I have in the European measure 37 that for Freed is a 5. Then this is a symbol. It is the maker because Freed are usually handmade from artisans. So I usually choose the fish or the crown. Here, for example, there is this, but if you want to ask to order a point shoe with a specific maker, then it costs more. So sometimes for some shows I order my maker, but some other times I just order the number and the X. So you see here, these ones are 3X. So it is actually the bigger one. I use as well those ones that have just 2 that is like medium, and then there is with 1 that is really thin. We have here the Classic Pro hard because for me I need harder point shoes, and as well they last really longer than the Classic Pro, the normal ones. I love them because they're wider, so for my foot it's really good. I can move my toes, I can really stay on point and get my feet stronger. So that's the word of Freed, not so complicated. Gaynor has a lot of different letters and numbers. Now I'm gonna explain you what they are. The first one is, as I said for Freed, the length. So I have 8 and my feet in a normal European measure of shoes is 37. And in Freed it was the 5. So 5, 8 is really different because the Freed are from London, from England. Then the Gainer are from America. So they have different measures. So the second letter that you find is the width. So the width fits the midfoot area, and you can find the N, the M and the W. The N is the narrow, M medium and W wide. And it is this part. And as well, you can find the difference as well here, because in the N this is narrow and this is thinner. Then in the medium is like this, because mine is medium. The wider it's even wider. Another information, the third thing that you find, number, letter, another number. The number, it is the box. The box fits the toe and the metatarsal area. We have box number 2, 3, 4 and 5. The box number 2 is small and tapered. The number 3 is medium and tapered. The number 4, it is square and a bit wide, and the number 5 is square and wider. The one that I have is the box number 3, so it's square, you can see, and it's medium wide. This, it depends on your type of foot. So if you have a really skin foot, then you can take the box number 2, it's good. But if you have maybe a feet that it's a bit wider in the metatarsal area, or it is painful for some reason, or you have some pathology, then it is better to take a 4 or a 5. The next number is the shank flexibility. You can have the harder one is the green one, then you have the yellow that is medium hard, then you have pink that is medium, then the blue that is flexible, and the purple that is very flexible. I use the harder one, so I use the green one, this one, because I really need to sustain my foot and I need some ponchos that last long. The last 2 numbers are for the vamp, that it can be regular or deep or slick, and the heel, that it could be low, regular, high or slick. That's it. For the Gainer, these are all the kind of informations. For the block, they made so many different type. Now I'm gonna tell you the main characteristic of 3 or 4 of them that are the ones that most of the people buy. We have the Dramatica. It is an on-point shape lace. It is streamlined fit, especially arch-hugging shape. This is really an important thing for the people that have a lot of arch. And then leather grip at the heel to ensure perfect fit as the dancer rises from flat to on point. So these are really nice. I tried them. I think they're really a good model of ponchos. The problem that I had is that they broke here. So my foot at the end, it seemed like sinking in the poncho. It was a good model, but by the time it was a bit doing this effect that was not really nice. Then we have the Synergy, and it has a wider block around the metatarsal to accommodate bunions. It has a flexible shank support, the dancer on point, and allows the demi point. So this is really important because as the Freed, it allows really the passage from demi point to point. The Gainer, for example, doesn't have a demi point. The Freed, a lot. So it is really an important characteristic for these ponchos. Then we have the Aspiration, that are kind of ponchos that you can wear the first time you put the ponchos. They're really good. The Freed as well, and this type of block I think are the best to start. And those ones has a wide box, and platform allows the toes to spread and provides stability. That's why it's really good for starting, because you feel your toes, you pass through demi point and then on point. And then it has a strong box and shank for the support. So you have kind of like a good stabilization. We have the last one, the Serenade. The Serenade are, I think, the most famous block punches, at the same time as a European balance, I think. A wide platform for balancing on point, large vamp and firm shank help to prevent flexible feet from bending too far over point, and it is available with stronger shank. So that's really important, because the people that has a lot of arch with those ponchos have no problems, really. Least but not last, I'm gonna talk about the Air Class. The Air Class are Russian ponchos, and I think they are really good. They are kind of like in between Freed and Gainer Minden. They don't have measures for the metatarsal area or for the strength, and they just have different names. So if you buy the first model, then it has all his characteristics. You just have to choose the number. It has the first, the Rubin, then the Brava, then the Paulette, and then the Paulette Pro. I'm using the Paulette Pro because I the hardest one, but you just have to try the models and then say your number. It doesn't have some characteristic as Gainer Minden or Freed, for example. So I described you the ones that I'm wearing, so I can really tell you how I feel, if they're good, if they're not good, and all the objective characteristic of some others and of these ones. Like this, you can choose the best ponchos for you. If for me it's nice and comfortable, it doesn't mean that it will be for you. So you have really to go to the shop and try all the ponchos, and then let me know in the comments below which ponchos do you use. If you have some question for me, I'll be glad answering you, and I really hope this video was useful. Subscribe yourself here and see you in the next video. Bye!